Hello, welcome to Joy News today. I am MFA Akosia Adeti. The bulletin is live from our studios here in Kakumlemle, Accra. We're also live on DSTV, channel 421 and GoTV, channel 125. Our top stories this hour. Minority in Parliament demand tough action from President John Mahama on incident involving Gold Board CEO Sammy Gyamfi, describing it as arrogant and shameful.
There's a definite silence. There has been silence from the presidency, no reprimand from the Minister of Finance, and no action from the Office of the President or the National Security Secretariat.
Also this afternoon, Abosokai traders defy directive by Ghana Union of Traders Association to reduce prices of goods and services as CD records substantial gains. And also we'll hear from some stakeholders on this as well. And a little later in the bulletin, 3 dead, others injured in a crash involving 3 trucks at Achim Asafo in the eastern region. We've got these plus business, sports, world news and showbiz in this bulletin. Do stay for details. We appreciate your company this afternoon. Let's start with the minority, where in Parliament today is demanding tough actions from President John Mahama against Gold Board CEO Sammy Gyamfi, who was caught on camera doling out several notes of dollars to self-styled evangelist Patricia Corantin, popularly known as Nana Agradaa. The incident has received mixed reactions despite an apology from Sammy Gyamfi. The minority MPs have described the conduct as financial recklessness and shameful arrogance. Now here is Member of Parliament for Finance Committee, Dr. Kabiru Tia Mahama.
Over the weekend, Ghanaians were subjected to a disturbing video showing Mr. Sammy Gyamfi, the National Communication Officer of the ruling NDC, and the acting CEO of the Ghana Gold Board, casually doling out bundles of the United States dollar to a known controversial figure, evangelist Patricia Odro, aka Nana Agradaa. This display of financial recklessness is not only a betrayal of public trust, but a slap in the face of millions of Ghanaians currently grappling with the devastating effect of the cedi, inflation, and the unbearable cost of living. It is symptomatic of a broader culture of abuse, impunity, and moral decay in the hearts of the NDC government. While businesses across the country are being suffocated by dollar shortages and an erratic exchange rate, a government official with access to state resources is seen splashing United States dollars. While the cedi has shown signs of recovery, appreciating from 14.15 cedi to approximately 13.14 per dollar as at May 9, 2025. This incident undermines efforts to stabilize our economy. The casual distribution of foreign currency by a high-ranking official sends a message of indifference to the struggle of ordinary Ghanaians.
Well, that news press conference is still happening in Parliament. Let's speak to Center for Democratic Development, Dr. Kojo Asante, on this. Doc, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and good afternoon to you. So the minority in Parliament describes this as recklessness. They say it is a slap on the public trust that we have in public officials. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, thank you, and to your viewers. Well, I think there's more questions than really answers. We don't know exactly what this sort of represents. So there are questions about, this is a public officer who is seen giving out, on the spur of the moment. This is not like some budgeted item. So somebody meets you on the side of the road and says, I want petrol money. And this petrol money is not just some 100 Ghana cedis or 200 Ghana cedis. It's dollars, and I couldn't tell whether it's $100 bills or $50 bills. I wasn't quite sure. But for a public officer a young public officer. I don't know Sammy Gyamfi's business interest or the income streams. I'm not sure about that. So, but it's those questions that have to be answered, because anybody that looks at it immediately worries that, okay, where is this person getting this money from? And they want some assurance that it is not from government funds, it is not from any kind of activity that is not consistent with the code that the president has outlawed, for his appointees. And because this has been part of the public's disdain about the way in which public officers carry themselves out, there's not something you can ignore. It definitely has to be investigated, and the public has clear assurances that this person did not misconduct themselves. So there has to be an investigation. The code, as has been put out, has to be applied and assessed, that whether the person has breached the code and whatever punishment that comes with it. So for me, there's a lot of questions that has to be answered, but you can only answer that by investigation.
I agree. While I appreciate the fact that there are many questions that have to be answered, we also have to look at the nuances of the matter. But again, looking at the face of it, as you've said, the optics of it, as to how he was captured, and the base of the NDC, as we're learning, or what they describe, or what they preferably would describe it as, the grassroots, not too excited about this. What do you think really, just on the optics of it, what do you think really is a problem? Is it that it is in dollars? Is it that it was captured on video? Or is it the person who was receiving the money that matters?
No, I think the fact that it's in dollars is significant, because, I mean, it's more about, that's what I'm saying, that first of all, when I go to a funeral, I don't carry dollars with me. Why would I have dollars available? And if I have dollars available with me, maybe I would have some specific thing that I'm going to do with it. But if on the spur of the moment, I can just request, and a public officer can just say, oh, I have a bundle of dollars, I can just give you this much. Generous as it is, it raises very serious questions. So that, I mean, anybody that's looking at it, that is not, if it's part of the practices in the past where we see people giving out money, vote buying and things, we complain about that a lot. And the whole agenda of the resetting is that we really need to, have political officers that have integrity, because we don't want them to be influenced in ways that they would make decisions for their private benefit instead of for the public interest.
Right. So
that's what I'm saying. The optics of your seat, even for the party, doesn't look good, because you are sort of flaunting money when we are under an IMF program and so on and so forth, and the person just took public office, right? And it's a young person too. So I think that for me, as for the optics and the politics of it and so on, but the whole agenda of trying to promote accountability, integrity in public life. This is important, that when these things come up, there is clear investigations. If there has been breaches and so on, there is enforcement of the law, so that we can be assured that the people that have been appointed or represented us in the state are not abusing their position for private gain.
Doc, so on the call of investigation, who should be investigating?
Oh, no, I think that one is straightforward. I mean, the president launched the code. I think when the code came out, I asked questions, for example, about the mechanism. Who is supervising the mechanism? I think they mentioned that the chief of staff is like the primary person, but what kind of secretariat does he have, under him to be able to do the monitoring of this compliance with the code? And then if something happens, how that is investigated, how then it's, if there are any punishment meted out, that it is actually the law is enforced, the rules are enforced.
Right.
So I think the Chief Justice has asked for a meeting or something like that. But whatever it is, as a public, as for those of us who are trying to just change this culture, it is for us to know exactly what happened.
Right.
And to be assured that there's nothing untoward that has happened.
So while he is being investigated, whichever body or as the Chief of Staff has requested his presence, should he be at post? Oh,
I don't think there's a problem with that.
Okay.
And the only thing that has to be happen quickly is that it has to be done as quickly as possible. If some people have asked that, this is the kind of situation where normally you ask for a lifestyle audit and all of those kinds of things, which I think we need the regime for doing that. But this is something that should be established pretty quickly, so that we get a sense of what's happening.
Doc, before I really let you go, can Sammy Gyamfi really argue that, well, look at this, it happened in my car, my privacy actually has been breached. If I wanted it to be public, then I would do it publicly. Would he actually have a point if he raises that point?
Well, I think as a public officer, it's very difficult to sustain that argument. We've had many cases where people have been found with money, and the public just wants to know that, okay, from what we know, and we might not know everything, from what we know, this person, this is what we know about the person. We don't know if they own multiple businesses or whatever, but because we don't know, we need to have answers to those things so that we can be assured. So it's not enough for you to say, oh no, I was just spending my own money. How can we be sure? If you were a private person, it might not even be a problem. But now that you are in public office, there has to go beyond that for there to be a clear establishment that indeed this is your own money, and this is something that you are doing privately. But it's not enough for you to just say that now that you are in public office. That has to be established as a matter of fact, so that the public can have a certain reassurance, that this is happening.
Right.
Otherwise, when you are out there saying somebody else has conducted themselves in ways that shows opulence and so on and so forth, then it becomes hypocritical, right?
Right.
So it has to be addressed.
Look,
I think for me, this is the first test of the code, and we need to see what happens with it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for talking to us. But still on this matter, Kweku Asante is still at where the NPP is addressing the media. Now, Kweku, beyond what the minority is describing as recklessness, what else have they been saying?
So they've been talking about the specific laws that they say that Sammy Gyamfi has breached. For instance, they reference the Foreign Exchange Act. They also reference the Currency Act. A number of these laws, they say Sammy Gyamfi's acts, which they describe as shameful arrogance, has breached. They are demanding tough actions from the president. They say they do not understand that this incident having happened over the weekend. Up until this time, there's not a single public statement from the government on what exactly they are doing with Sammy Gyamfi's recklessness, as they put it. They say it is not enough that the Chief of Staff will invite Sammy Gyamfi to come to the Jubilee House for whatever meeting. The first step they expected was for Sammy Gyamfi to be suspended for further investigation to happen into this matter, and they do not understand why, as of now, nothing of that sort has happened. And so they are demanding tougher action from the president, even though he's currently outside of the country. They believe he must act tough to send a signal to all other appointees.
Do they look like if the presidency or the government doesn't do anything specific, they may be able to invoke the laws that they have quoted?
Well, they say that they have all options on the table, and if the president fails to act, they will trigger whatever responsibilities they have as members of parliament, as oversight responsibility. They will do that. They're keeping a little bit of their options close to their chest, but they say they will act if the president fails to do so.
Thank you so much, Kweku Asante, for bringing us updates. We'll still be bringing you updates from that news conference by the minority in Parliament. And away from that, traders at Abose Okai, one of Ghana's trading hubs, are defying a directive by the Ghana Union Traders Association to reduce prices of goods and services to reflect the substantial gains made by the Ghana cedis against major currencies, including the US dollar. Now, data available to a research team has shown 5.3% appreciation by the cedi, prompting calls by Guta for a reduction in prices of goods. But the traders say Guta cannot dictate to them. They spoke to Collins Frimpong.
Change some of this business. Actually, we took goods on the high prices. So you need to sell it to get your profit. That is business. So you cannot go for goods at high prices and come and sell it at lower prices just because the depression of the dollar. No, that one it can't be possible. Yes, you need to reduce the prices, but not now because we have some goods that we pack for so many days or like some months that we pay with a higher dollar. So we cannot use the depression of that small, let's say a week, to just like finalize that. Or because the dollar is depressed, we can like probably reduce the thing.
Like it is possible for us to do so, but the goods that we are having presently were purchased so many months ago, and it was very, very high. The price was very, very high. As such, I think we have to do away with these goods, and when we go in for new goods, it's then that we will be able to reduce the price. If we say we are going to reduce the price now, it is going to affect us. Why? Because we will lose. When we lose our money, how can we go there to go and bring more goods? So I would say, let us wait for a while. If the cedi will gain its value, and how do you call it, the advanced market is also stable, then we also have a stable currency, then I think we will be able to reduce the price of goods here so that everybody will be free.
I pray they made us. It's good though, but we can't reduce our goods. But the goods we have now is something we have already bought them in stock already. So we can't reduce it due to the appraisal they have made. And the dollar issue now is not from the government. We know the whole global market, what's happening now. From China to America to Russia, a whole lot. So that's why we are receiving this current dollar rate. But maybe within some short time, our dollar will go up. What are we going to do when we reduce the goods? And I'm going to buy a new one. What should I do? Automatically, I'm going to lose a lot of money. So you have to hold on for some time being. If you are able to manage this dollar for about 6, 7 months, 8 months, it's good. You have to reduce them.
Now, Head of Business Unit at Guta, Charles Appiah, explains why this call is important.
A lot of dynamics that is taking place now in the market. So what we appeal to our traders is that where it is possible to adjust your prices, do say for the good of the consumer. That is a simple call. We are not saying there should be a general reduction of prices, but others probably might have benefited from the downward trend of the forest. So those who have benefited from it, it is in order you extend same benefits to our consumers.
Right. So this appeal, does it really have economic leverage, or is more symbolic for you? I mean, you have said and you have recognized the fact that it's not a compulsion, but does it in any way look like the traders at some point would at least adjust? And my question really, or the crux of my question is, does it have any economic leverage, or Guta must be seen to have been doing something?
Basically, you realize that there's an open window for us to realize an economic recovery for a country. When we are able to turn around our product faster than expected, there's a lot of gains for us as businesses. If you hold on to old prices and sales start dropping, the economic ramification is you might not be able to pay your debt with your supplier, and that's with the banks.
Now, still on the cedi appreciation, one question is, will prices of transport fares go down or will it go up? Now, let's speak to Duncan Amwa. He is Executive Director for Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC. Now, thanks for joining us this afternoon. And my question really is, has the cedi appreciated enough to be able to affect the prices of fuel so that I can also feel it when I am paying for transportation?
Again, to your viewers, listeners across the world, indeed, the answer is that it is significant. And I do not think that at this point the transport operators will be justified in any way to continue charging the old fares. I think that at this point, it will be fair to call on them to also decline on transport fares across the country. If you have fuel prices moving from 15 to around 12 and 13 now, you would not say anywhere that it is not significant. You are doing between some 15–20% reduction on fuel price. That is quite significant, and for that I think if there's any magnanimity on the part of transport operators, we should be seeing transport fares go down this week. That would also add to the cooling effect that the Ghanaian is asking for from an economy that, was in some boiling state just a few months ago. It cannot be said that GUTA is now asking members to reduce the prices of goods and services that they render across the country, and then the transport operators would insist they wouldn't go down. So we think, and we are calling on them as of this afternoon, to begin adjusting transport fares downwards across the country. It is important they do so now.
I can just predict what transport operators may say, that the factors that contribute to their transport fares are not just exclusive to fuel. It will be other factors like car parts and all of that. I've always been thinking it looks like for price regulation, it nearly works around the fuel industry. But how can we culminate this for transport fares to actually, for consumers to actually feel it as well? Can we really regulate it?
Indeed, if you look at the computation of the transport fare mix, your fuel price alone will contribute about 40% to that. And so once that comes down, there's every indication that their cost of operation is significantly also reduced, and so they will need to come down. Again, you have GUTA, whose members include the spare parts dealers, today asking that their members begin to drop prices. And so if prices of parts should come down, cost of lubricants would have come down because fuel prices equally have come down. Then you have to further it. Don't forget, COPEC has been one of the bodies that has fiercely defended our transport union, even in the last month when this discussion came up that they should reduce their fares. We thought it was a bit too early. At the time, fuel was going around 15. As I speak to you, the highest market is about 13.3.
Okay.
Some are doing 12. And so we've seen some significant reductions due to the cedi's appreciation. And I think that we will not be able to, at this point, on this day, continue to make the same excuses we made for the transport operators not to reduce fares. And so we think that it's only fair that following from GUTA's call, last week Friday, we were on GUTA again, not to tell Ghanaians they are going to take 2-3 months to reduce their prices, and that the dollar, if you had a $1 million debt to defray, and it was going to cost you about 16 million Ghana cedis. If it is costing you 13.2 million Ghana as of today, that's a saving of 2.8 million Ghana cedis. It's significant and cannot be swept under the carpet. We are happy that we wake up from the weekend, they are already asking their members to decline on prices. I think that GPRTU and the other transport operators should take a cue and also decline on transport fares.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing in some understanding. But the next question really we'll be asking is, will the cedi's appreciation as well affect utility tariff? We've been joined by Dr. Eric Obute. He is Director, Research and Corporate Affairs at PURC. And a lot of the times when you hear the name PURC, you know that there's some sort of price adjustment. And just May 3, you recall that the prices of utilities had been increased by very significant margins. But, Doc, this afternoon, can you please tell me whether the cedi appreciation really would affect? Will we see some adjustments at the utility fares?
Thank you very much. PURC is not only there, as you said, for price increment or price adjustment.
Absolutely.
We're also there for the quality of service as well. So we look at both the quality of service and then the pricing of the commodity itself. In the minor tariff regime, we look at those 4 basic factors, which are basically inflation, exchange rate, and the fuel price mix. Now, we've seen that the cedi is appreciating against the dollar. Obviously, but on the next tariff window, the inflation has also dropped to about 21% now. Obviously, it will impact on the next tariff window. So at the end of this particular tariff, we will do a review again, and then the next tariff window will take into consideration all these varying factors which will impact the tariff in the next tariff window.
Doc, but I'm just a consumer who can see that the dollar is reduced today. I'm not certain whether or not it would reduce in the next 3 months, which will be the next time that you may be adjusting, or the next quarter, which you may be adjusting. And so if by the next 3 months he appreciates, would I have lost the opportunity to have paid a fair deal this time around?
Well, you know, we do this over a quarterly basis, on a 3-month basis. So we look at the exchange rate over the 3-month period that we are going to review. So if we do the review over the next 3 months, and we realize that the exchange rate has actually the dollar consistently over the period, obviously it will impact positively on the tariff. The last tariff window was we used exchange rate of 15.65 to the dollar. Now we are talking about something in the region of 13 cedis to the dollar. So that's a big dip, and obviously it will affect or impact positively on the tariff. So in the next tariff window, we look at how all these factors will play out and then see how it will affect the tariff.
Okay, Doc, so that I understand. But what I really want to understand is that in the next time where you're adjusting the tariff, if the dollar has appreciated at that time, would it mean that today that I could have enjoyed it, I would have lost out on the opportunity? That's the question.
No, you would not have lost it. You know, there's something we call over and under recovery in the tariffs. So obviously, as I said, we track it over a 3-month period. It's not a spot rate that we use. We don't use a spot rate. Let's say today's rate is what we use to apply for the tariffs. No, we use it. It's a trend over a 3-month period. How did the exchange behave over this 3-month period? And that is what we use to price the commodity.
Okay.
And we use the Bank of Ghana rate. So over the 3-month period, even if there have been shifts and then there's decision of the currency along the way, the averaging of the currency will determine the direction of the tariff at the end of the period.
Right. Dr. Obote, thank you so much for bringing clarity to this conversation. And away from that, sadly, 3 people are feared dead with others injured following a crash involving 3 trucks at Achim Asafo in the eastern region. The incident, which occurred earlier today, involved a DAF trailer carrying cocoa, which had broken down and was stationary in the middle of the road, and 2 other trucks, a Scania and a Hawa driver of the Scania truck, and 2 female passengers believed to be traders died on the spot. Now let's talk to our Eastern Regional Correspondent, Maxwell Kudako, for updates. Maxwell, how bad is the situation and what's the current update? Maxwell, please unmute.
Sorry, the incident we are told happened this dawn around 4 a.m. at Achim Asafo on the Kumasi Accra highway. I would suggest that the trailer that was carrying a cocoa had broken down on the road before the dawn, and then the 2 cars involving the Kia truck and the tipper truck coming from Kumasi because of the issue with visibility on that stretch of the road ran into that car. That contains foodstuff believed to be being occupied by 2 market women. All the passengers on board that truck died on the spot, including the driver. So 3 people died in the accident on the spot. 2 other persons who sustained several degrees of injury were conveyed to the Suhum Government Hospital. The bodies of the deceased are also at the Suhum Government Hospital morgue. Emergency service provided, including the ambulance service, the Ghana Fire Service, and the Ghana Police Service, were fast on the scene, and they tried to save the situation. But unfortunately, the 3 people died on the spot. We were told by the emergency service providers that plans are underway to tow the 3 cars from the scene. But as at the last 1 hour, when we did our checks, the trucks were still on the scene, but it's not impeding traffic flow.
Okay.
So presently, we are told that the 2 people are receiving treatment at the Suhum Government Hospital.
That's good to know. So let's understand whether the street lights on that road, because you have mentioned that it looks like visibility. Is it the case that the street lights and they were not function, or it's been traditionally a road without lights?
Traditionally, that section of the road is very poor when it comes to visibility. There's no street light on that stretch. Most part of the stretch, you wouldn't have street light there. So it's a traditional road with no light on that particular stretch.
Would you say that there are very frequent or rampant accidents in that area, on that particular stretch?
Yeah, in time past, we've recorded several accidents, especially from Agradaa Junction to the Asafo Enclave. Initially, it's straight up to the Bunsu Junction, but in recent time, we've not had several incidents there. But that area is accident-prone area. Many people who ply the route can attest to the fact that between Agradaa Junction and that stretch is accident-prone area.
Finally, as of now, do we know families, or do we know those who have lost so far, who they are, where they're from?
Well, police says that no family member so far have come forward to identify the body. The police have indicated that investigations are ongoing to uncover the relatives of the deceased and those who are injured currently at the Suhum Government Hospital.
That's quite a sad one. Thank you, Maxwell. Thank you. Now, away from that, the Ashanti Regional Anti-Galamsey Task Force is extending its Galamsey fight to the protection of cocoa farms under siege by illegal miners. This follows incessant calls from cocoa farmers in rural areas over the destruction of their farms by illegal miners. Nanaya Ojima has been engaging players in the cocoa and mining industry and has filed this report.
In 2021, the Ghana Cocoa Board said 19,000 hectares of farmland had been destroyed in key cocoa growing areas like the Western and Ashanti regions. Years on, the phenomenon has continued, negatively affecting the country's cocoa sector. Aside from the takeover of farmlands, water sources used in the cultivation of cocoa and other purposes on farms are destroyed by the activity. Amecha, a cocoa farmer at Bebiani, speaks of the challenges. She says the illegal miners are forcefully taking over our cocoa farms. They refuse to pay us for that. Our water bodies are also being destroyed. According to the Ashanti Region Anti-Galamsey Task Force, complaints about the activities of illegal miners in cocoa growing areas are often received. Alongside the fight to rid river bodies and forest reserves of illegal miners, the team has resorted to take interest in cocoa growing areas. National Security Liaison in Ashanti Region, Captain Retired John Kwame Jabari, speaks of plans to rescue the farmers.
As you are aware, we have dealt with the forest reserves already, so we are now looking at the water bodies and those in the waterways, and especially those who are destroying our cocoa farms. Cocoa is the future of Ghana, so we will not allow Galamsey people to bring down the production of cocoa. So when we went to the place that we went to, apart from them destroying the river body, a number of cocoa farms have been brought down by this menace in those areas over there. So that prompted us to come to the place, and most of the time it's not our own intel. It is the citizens over there who come and give us the information that these people are destroying our cocoa farms, these people are destroying our water bodies. That brings us to conduct those operations over there.
Over the years, the Cocoa Board has expressed worry over the negative impact of illegal mining on the country's cocoa production. Though little results have been achieved, CEO of Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Abbey, has expressed interest in joining the cause.
We've been cooperating with the National Security Council since I came into office. So it is something that we're doing. It is something which is dear to His Excellency the President. And so all the security agencies are on board. And it's something that we need to really do. We need to do that, and we need to do that very well. But whilst we do that, we need to also put in place the necessary legal framework to back this.
Meanwhile, the concerned Small-Scale Miners Association wants the task force to stay within forceful takeovers. President Michael Kwadwo insists some cocoa farms were legally acquired for mining purposes.
We need to understand that mining comes with distraction. And in so doing, if the person has his license, and even if it's a cocoa farm, and the farmers are willing to give it out, I think the law permits them to mine within that confirmed demarcated area. So we don't really understand why in Ashanti region alone they are taking these operations to people who have their license or people who are mandated to mine responsibly. I think going forward, we'll have a discussion with the security coordinator and then the regional minister, so that at least the modalities which were set aside by the sector minister will be followed.
For Joy News, Nana Yaojima, Kumasi.
You're watching News Today. Please stay. We'll be back with business, showbiz, and sports.
It's now time for business here on Joy News Today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Government for the second consecutive week failed to meet its Treasury bills target. That's according to auction result by the Bank of Ghana. Interest rates, however, continue to decline. There is more in this report.
The government recorded a marginal undersubscription of the T-bills auction. It, however, got 5.216 billion Ghana cedis against the target of 5.386 billion cedis of the bids tendered. It accepted all the bids tendered. About 3.858 billion Ghana cedis came from the 91-day bill, representing 73.96% of the total bid. For the 182-day bill, 747.06 million cedis were tendered. A little over 611 million cedis were also tendered for the 364-day bill. Meanwhile, interest rates continue to plummet on the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day bill declined marginally by 9 basis points to 15.16%. VAT of the 182-day bill also eased to 15.70% from the previous 16.03%. The interest on the 364-day bill also dropped by 15 basis points to 16.80%.
In another development, Ghana's total debt stock could reduce significantly in the coming month. This, analysts say, will be as a result of the city's record appreciation against the US dollar over the past month. George Wiafe has more in this report.
Based on data released by the Bank of Ghana ending March this year, which puts Ghana's total debt stock at around 726.7 billion Ghana cedis, ending December last year. And there are strong indications that when the Bank of Ghana releases its fresh economic data later this month, Ghana's total debt stock could come down significantly. The data show that the country's external debt position is about $28 billion. Now, if the local currency continues with this current performance, then the debt stock could come down drastically. This would be interesting, especially at the time that the economy is also expanding. All these dynamics would impact on the debt-GDP ratio. The development in terms of the city's stability could also reduce the interest payments bill of government. What will happen? This is because what is happening now could reduce government interest payments in the coming weeks for this year. However, there are some that are worried that Ghana could suffer in some areas, or the economy when it comes to the current performance of the Ghana cedi.
That's all for business. We have more business update for you at 1 p.m. on the marketplace. My name is Winston Taki. We have more after this break. Stay tuned.
I'm now to bring you sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. In the next couple of hours, the Black Satellites will be in action against Egypt in the quarter-final of the ongoing CAF Under-20 African Cup of Nations in Egypt. Head coach of the team, Desmond Ofer, has described the tie later this afternoon as a final.
It's a final. It's a final. I think it's a golden ticket. Everybody wants this ticket, and I'm sure the host nation will do everything in the ability to also win the game. But all in all, we have to show that we are the better team. I think we are not only playing a team, we are playing the nation, we are playing against history. So we have to be on our very best tomorrow to make sure that at the end of 90 minutes plus extra time, we are the winners of the game. They've got some incredible players. Looking at the captain, Ahmed Kabaka, incredible player. He's the engine of the team. Good passer of the ball, technically very good. Omar Kader from Aston Villa can play on the left wing, can play on the 10, also very, very good player. But they have good players, so we just have to respect them, respect the team. We have to be on our very best. We know our qualities. We have to stay true to ourselves, our DNA, our philosophy. The boys, I want to give it up also to the boys. They're working really hard. They are very hungry, and they want to show the nation that this is the future of our football. So we're going to do everything in our power to try and give an incredible performance.
That is your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. Showbiz up next.
Hello there, good afternoon. You're welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Samar Yabuatu. Our first story for today, the official first episode of Joy Prime's culinary extravaganza, Big Chef Junior Season 4, so mothers of the selected 12 contestants joined the awards in the kitchen. Joy Prime's Lois Shola Adeyemi has more in the following report.
Episode 1 of Joy Prime's culinary extravaganza Big Chef Junior Season 4 saw all the 12 contestants pair with their moms in the kitchen as part of the Mother's Day celebration. The mothers expressed their joy working with the awards in the kitchen.
I'm feeling great.
Are you nervous? Any nervous here and there?
No, not at all.
Are you ready for today's task?
Yeah.
Yay! Are you ready for the kitchen?
Yes.
I am. You know the judges are not going to take it easy on you because you're in the kitchen with the kids. So I hope you're ready.
Chef Kofi and Chef Rita, judges for the season, spelled out the rules to observe in the kitchen and introduced a twist that kept all teams on their toes. Each team was asked to pick sheets containing 4 main local cuisines: banku with okro, aple with okro, kokonte with groundnut soup, and rice balls with groundnut soup. They were each given 45 minutes to execute the task of the day to perfection.
You are sharing the sink. So the rule is do not leave a knife in the sink. That is 1. 2, do not run. You know, we look a bit one step at a time. So do not run. Once you run, what happens? There might be a fall. There might be accident in the kitchen. That's the rule number 2.
I can feel love in the air, which is so beautiful. Okay, so the contestants are those cooking. The mothers are supposed to help them and not to cook for them. Okay,
45 minutes for you to prepare the whole food, whether soup, pepper, you have to do whatever within 45 minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start work.
Start work.
Judges went round making sure that all protocols and rules of the Big Chef kitchen were observed accordingly. The time elapsed and all teams were brought to a standstill.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop work.
Stop work.
Please, the cleaning should also cease as well.
Yes.
No movement in the kitchen.
Each team presented their meals to the judges. After tasting, the judges expressed their impression with the mothers and their awards. Smiles filled the air in the kitchen as all teams were rewarded with an eviction-free night.
Well, to some other stories, it was a night of glitz, grace, and glorious surprises at the 23rd Telecel Ghana Music Awards. But before the confetti rain of the new Artist of the Year, a moment of soulful reverence took center stage as veteran gospel musician Yao Sapon was honored with the Lifetime Achievements Award, recognizing his decades-long contribution to Ghana's gospel industry. We have more in the following report.
The Grand Arena of the Accra International Conference Center was the heartbeat of Ghana's entertainment scene Saturday night as industry giants, rising stars, and thousands of music lovers gathered to celebrate excellence at the TGMA 2025. Gospel veteran Yao Sapon, though absent due to ill health, was rightfully honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award. The award was received on his behalf by his longtime bandmate Mami Tiwa, who thanked Ghanaians for the unwavering support and prayers.
Let's give a loud, resounding round of applause. Yao Sapon. Amanfu guhenyi na say mo. Adam pacho mankani ye. Amen.
The show opened on a high note, literally, with a fairy curtain raised up by AEC, who said grab the audience's attention right from the jump. What followed was a roller coaster of show-stopping performances, unexpected collabs, and a few goosebump moments that had fans buzzing. Stonebwoy, last year's Artist of the Year, brought the heat with a medley of hits. He surprised fans by bringing hip life duo Too Tough on stage for a nostalgic reunion that had the crowd roaring. A surprise performance by the legendary Daughters of Glorious Jesus added a powerful spiritual moment to the night, reminding everyone why their music remains timeless. The new generation also came to shake things up. Molly lit up the stage with bold energy, while Kojo Black, B-Strap, KOTM, and Kwaku Smoke brought their own unique fire. Kwaku Smoke, in particular, brought a full cinematic vibe to his set lights, stagecraft, and everything. Mamiya also had one of the most soulful performances of the evening, capturing the crowd with raw vocals and emotional depth. Then came Kim Promise, the man of the night. His performance was nothing short of elite. With his hits Paris and Continental, he owned the TGMA stage. And just when the energy peaked, the biggest moment of the night arrived. Artist of the Year. When his name was mentioned, the roar in the arena said it all. After years of nominations and solid hits, King Promise finally clinched the coveted title. His reaction? Emotional, overwhelmed, and unforgettable.
If any young person is watching me right now who has a dream, use me as an example of resilience. My first year when I broke out on the scene, I had 7 nominations and I left with 0. While some people laugh, I just work harder because I believe in God's timing.
It was a night that blended legacy, love, and loud cheers, a celebration of not just Kenyan music, but the people behind it. TGMA 2025 didn't just give awards. It gave stories, it gave surprises, and it gave a moment in history for both the veterans and the new school. Jacqueline and Somayaboy's report read to you.
On that note, before that, congratulations to King Promise. On that note, it's a wrap for the showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Somayaboy. Over to you, MFA.
Thank you so much, and it will be an entire wrap for the bulletin. And she's the reason why I didn't go for the VJMs, because she would always bring you the updates.
Definitely.
All the gist. Thank you so much, Jacqueline.
You're welcome.
And of course, it was a cuckoo smoky for me, Kim Paluta. I was excited.
Who else were you rooting for?
Cuckoo Smoke, Kim Paluta, and of course Kim Promise, because I think that he's worked hard.
Yeah, last year was a sad moment for him, and I think it was a good comeback for him this year.
Absolutely. Thank you. Keep bringing it to us. All right. Thank you so much for watching today. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Emefa Akosia Adeti. Well, of course, with your top story, minority demands tough action from Mahama against Sammy Gyamfi over dollar gift saga. You'd have the details on that if you visit our website, myjoyonline.com. Thank you for watching.